Hello everyone, it is me, Tori HNB. How is everyone doing today? Let us see. How is everyone doing? Today we're going to look into it. Let's see. Macadamia, I'm glad to see you're doing good. Thanks for stopping by in the stream. Hey, what's good? Retrap Gaming, The Cool Weber, Prince Him, Mateo TBZ. Yes, Merry Xmas to you all. And of course, good quality content. Thank you guys for making it through. I know a lot of you guys may be spending time with family and so on, but this is a good time to say that since everyone has the day off, this is a good time to stream. Not too late for pretty much any region. It's either early morning for you or, it's not the worst timing. Unless you live in Britain. Hello everyone, hello. I'm glad you guys had came through. Thank you so much. We had so keeping everyone up to date. Recently there was a lot of things going on IRL that will not be discussed live, but just know that it was a contributing factor to what's going to why there has been a delay in the stream consistency. Overall though, there was some work being done in the background, fortunately. So because of that, we are now in a better position to, of course, stream more, upload more, and so on. But don't take my word for it. I'll let the evidence do the talking. So if you guys start seeing a bunch of videos popping up, hey, I told you. So thank you so much, Roz. And essentially what we're going to be doing now is today we're going to complete our follow-up from our last stream when we were talking specifically about the power scaling dynamics. In the power scaling dynamics we were talking about in particular had more so to do with this chart we were doing. All right, so let's talk about it. Let us talk about it. So the first thing I want to do is we left off in the last stream. We're gonna start back around the this domain with the planetary domain. Yeah. So we finished talking about Luffy, right? And since we talked about Luffy, we kind of got a better idea of where he stands. We was using that as our base point for pretty much the reasoning. So let's continue. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So let's go right into it. All right, folks. Let's see what we got here. All right. Yep, as I expected. All right. So what did we start last time? Let's see. What was our last stream about? I want to see who we left off on. We left on one specific character. One specific character we left off on. Let's see. Give me 1 second, everyone. Let's see our last live stream. What did we focus on? Our last live stream, we focused on... let's see. Who do we do? All right, so we were around cosmic. Yeah. I think that's what we were doing. Yeah, we talked about cosmic tier. And then yeah. Okay. All right. Now I remember. Metadomain. But yeah, we'll go ahead. We're gonna dive deeper, and we're gonna pretty much discuss everything that needs to be discussed. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's see. Keanu March, thank you for asking. It says, where do you scale God Fusion Goku? He is NVBA. God Fusion Goku is NVBA. I appreciate the thought. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much, Roz. I appreciate it. You did more than enough last time. Thank you. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look. Where did we put it at? Who was we doing? Imagine if. Yeah. Okay, now I remember. All right, cool. All right, so the listing. All right, here we go. So the last time we were doing this list, we were right here into the meta domain with Sinbad sitting at Complex Multiversal and Kid Buu. Now, here's the thing. As we know, blue means lower end, yellow means mid, and red means higher end. So Kid would be had the lower Complex Multiversal, and I think I explained that pretty well about how he was able to play around. So Kid Buu was already covered. Now we just got to focus on Sinbad. All right, so let's pull up. Let's pull up your boy Sinbad. All right, I'm gonna go to my library. All right, so here we're gonna go. So we're gonna read into a little bit about the capacities. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go, my friends. We are going to be taking a look. Yes, if you are curious about the Complex Multiversal Kid Buu, that was taken care of in the last video. Cool Weber, thanks for asking. I did not. I did not talk much. I did not do much for Xmas at all. I kind of just hibernated because of all the stuff that's going on IRL. But we're good now. We're good. Now, yes, Complex Multiversal Kid Buu, I think is a really good placement for him. If you go by the parameters of what the anime and manga had informed us of. Again, I think another thing that's important is we're not talking about casual effort. This just has to do with the pinnacle. Okay? Kind of focusing in on that Sinbad. And if you have questions, if you have question, Shim Up fanboys, I will go ahead and clarify that for you later on. Just kind of just make sure we can get further into this list. I want to see here. So we go into the Magi comic book here, and we do know that later on, comic book, listen to me, manga, it's been a minute. When we see that when we see what happens earlier on, right? Okay. I think you misunderstand you are only human and you have reached your limit for Majin equips. So then this happened. I'm the creator of the metal vessels in your world, so you cannot defeat me. Do you think characters in a novel can harm their author? Do you? It is impossible. Arba understood nothing. Your chance of reaching the sacred palace isn't 1 in 100, huh? It's 0. So, in other words, you don't even have a chance. Okay? Oh, so their hardest, strongest power. For the most part, yeah, they're at their peak. I mean, not every character is casual about their feats. So, kind of give you an example. Ichigo isn't casually cosmic. Naruto isn't casually stellar. Some characters are more casual than others, but we're talking about their utmost power output. Continuing on with this phenomenal. Sorry, the Chihuahua's in this room. He should not be in here. Get out. Get out. You want to pee all over the floor. Bark Kelly. Anyway, before I was interrupted here, the bottom line is it's going to look at the pinnacle. So we obviously see here, go to the next scan. Nonetheless, I'm immediate. Impossible. I say stay away. Don't you know the story of the man who flew too near to the sun so his wings melted? That's Icarus they're referring to. And here's what happened. Bam. Bodied. Sinbad, I pity you. So Sinbad gets eviscerated. Bam. Sinbad's getting eviscerated. I must have that. It is impossible. With these hands, I could seize anything. You don't even have hands anymore. I must go there. A place I have yet to see. The adventure isn't over. It must continue for eternity. No matter what. No matter what. No matter what. No matter what. I cannot look away from my desires. Such unbearable happiness. I cannot understand you. You should have been satisfied after all becoming a king and shaping the world. It was just a role for you to play. A role. Providence has decreed that he who reaches the top must fall, and that new kings replace the old kings. Old kings? Climbing only to the fallen providence? That is how the world moves forward. Sinbad, it is time to rest. So, is this the end of the dream? Yes. Thank you for everything, Sinbad. And that is it. Bam! Obliterated. And then the white Drook, our Sinbad gathered them for me. Yep. And as you can see, this is giving you everything you need to know. From here on, I shall lead them. You, Elder David. I was waiting for this moment. For Solomon to raise the standard of the revolt against me. For him to meet you. For Almatran to fall to ruin. So you would then use Solomon's magic. In Iraya's... hold on, let me see what the chat says. Sinbad seems pretty OP. Oh, yeah. Did you foresee all of that? Yes. And now I shall assume the status of the guardian of the sacred palace. Aren't they devouring me? Stop. And then, as getting devoured, this is the funniest Duke Ex Machina. Haha! I finally did it! I'm God! I can now create and destroy at will. So basically, he took over. He's like, so I'm at a higher level of existence. Haha! If I use the sacred palace, I can create a vast new world instead of merely managing this tiny one. Huh? Something grabbed him. No, you may not. You betray Solomon's will. Look at this. Boom. What? Alright, chat. I'm gonna make sure everyone can see that. What does that say? Huh? What does that say? Huh? Huh? Can we read that? Oh. Interesting. And I think the problem is a lot of people A lot of people like overlook this. How can this be? I became the palace guardian. I am a god above gods. What do you mean, Elder David? Your plan with Arba was obvious. I knew you would use Sinbad to come here. No, you couldn't have, because I assimilated Ila-Ira. Yes, the Sacred Palace is a system for efficiently circulating the energy of Ila-Ira's world. I am a part of that world, and no human can see God. But then, I had an inspiration as God looks into the world. Maybe he is visible from within. What are you trying to say? In other words, I had plenty of time for research, and I realized something. God has multiple layers, and it is possible to change their order. What? As I told Sinbad, the characters in a story cannot surpass their author. But there are multiple dimensions, so it's only natural that God has layers too. I'm impressed you realize that I am no longer alone. We could be allies, so let's talk God to God. Wait. Where am I? It's very bright. A library, I can't move. Good morning, Arba. This is the Sacred Palace. So, the Sacred Palace, and as you can see here, were Sinbad and Elder David successful? Elder David and Ila-Ira are over there. Huh? Whoa, is that our father? And look at this. See how he's creating this? Just like he wanted. He is now the creator of a low-order world. There are Ryuk and a universe and life in there. Again, did you steal that person's power? But life forms of a lower order do not know the will of their god. Similarly, the individual cells of a human can never know their host will or the meaning of their existence. In a sense, many worlds exist. So as you guys could see, this is very straightforward. I mean, fires in the... Can we get some fires in the chat or hundreds in the chat if we all agree, like, there's no getting around this. This is very straightforward. Most comics are like very arbitrary. I mean, mangas are very arbitrary, but like this is like very straightforward. I mean, it's literally just telling you like, yeah, by the way, guys, this is how strong they are. There's like no second guessing this. You're just playing God yourself. Yes, that's right, Ugo. And then he says, for I am omnipotent. At least I'm omnipotent when it comes to Aladdin's world. I must skillfully manage the world that Solomon gave me. Isn't that right, Solomon? But ever since Aladdin left, I've been so very bored. I've been so very, very bored, Arba. You have lived 1,000 years, but the Sacred Palace has no time. So it felt more like... Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on, I gotta count. Million, billion, trillion, quadrillion. Okay, hold on. This is a million. This all right, guys. We're gonna count. We're gonna count. This is a million right here. Okay. This is. All right, hold on. Let's make sure we're actually doing this. All right, million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, septillion, octillion, nonillion, dectillion, undecillion, duodecillion, tredecillion, quadrodecillion, quindecillion, sextodecillion, septodecillion, octodecillion, nondecillion, 1 vigintillion years. God dang! Sheesh. 1 vigintillion years? But starting today, I'll no longer be lonely. Because now I have you. I've always admired you. Way back when you and Solomon were friends. So let's be friends again, Arba. Losing Aladdin has driven him nuts. He's like a machine blindly pumping away at its action. But I can't defy him, so what should I do? That's odd. My system is perfect, so how did he get through? And why were my magi so afraid of him that they didn't choose him to be king? Sinbad frightens me. He's too, yeah, so as you can see, Mr. Sinbad's light is too bright, so it attracts everyone in the path it illuminates. As you can see from the worlds being made, this image is a representation of numerous worlds. Haha, I am a god. My very thoughts create a world. So as you can see, he can make worlds by just thinking of it. So, to give an idea, because again, you never want to jump to the assertion that someone is like this strong. But like if we go by the simple fact that here, obviously above 4D, right? 4D plus. And then we're dealing with Elder David being 5D. Then coming back as a 6th dimension. And I would even say even higher than 6th dimensional here. Mainly because he said multiple layers. The reason why is because quite literally, just the idea of thinking could cause numerous reality and concepts in different worlds, just with thoughts. Goku said, "You're not old, you're ancient. Haha, I am a god, a very thought-created world. But something doesn't feel right. Is this my fate? Was this truly my mission? Yes, you have done well. Your only role was to be means for me reaching the top." Huh? Oh, really? Sinbad. Yup. And then this is where it gets crazy. Fate, necessity governs all things, and only he noticed this phenomenon. What are magic and magicians, and why did God choose me? Using magic, he lengthened. So as you can see, as we're going deeper into this, we could see that it's getting crazier. So he lends me your strength, David. I will show you a world you have never seen. Bam. What is happening? And check this out. Your boy is back. Impossible. A mere part of a great flow cannot maintain your ego. Sinbad. 7 Dajin stopped my king's root from passing, so it's easy for me to pluck him from outside. Yep. All of this. All of these gods. And then literally, the body of the Lord of Metal and the vessels has died, and he has returned to the sacred palace. Must we return to the dungeon and wait? No, we refuse this. King Solomon has abandoned the reins of fate. We can no longer see the world's future. Living creatures need an absolute ruler, and there are none capable of that but King Sinbad. But King Solomon was wrong. But King Solomon was irresponsible. Don't say that Solomon didn't even want to become king. Everyone forced him to. So why are you being so mean? Rest now, Ugo. Sinbad? No, Solomon? You did well, and I am tired too. I did not want to become king. I did not want to become king. I will live quietly with my books. Leave the rest to Sinbad. Oh, I understand. You're tired, right? Bonk. Frozen. May he rest in hallucination, the poor giant. You truly are my Magi, David. Now we shall be the guardians of the sacred palace and know what's going to happen. Now I will remake the world. So for those who don't realize, Sinbad basically transcended even a guy who was at least 6th to 7th dimensional. So Sinbad, that's why I have him in the higher complex multiversal structures. I would say Sinbad is, if I had to get, Sinbad has reality warping. So it's not just raw combat, because he could fight. But it's not that he could just fight alone. He has more to it than that. And given that he could casually do this, and this isn't even really him needing to try, because they show you later in the chapters, he recreates all of existence. So the fact that Sinbad can create existence, create your thoughts, it's something that even though Beerus and Goku are really strong, they don't really create beings or the essence of humankind or nature. It's a lot different. So in this context, I would say Sinbad, I want to humbly say he's around Goku Black territory. I want to say he's Goku Black territory. Like when Goku Black unlocked the scythe. I want to put him around there. That's where I would put Sinbad personally. Like he's strong. He is very, very strong. If anything, in a conservative scale, I would even say that I would even technically put him higher. On a conservative scale, I would see him being a really good contender in the Tournament of Power, like almost Topo level, or Infinite Zamasu level, almost. That's in a conservative scale. So yeah, Sinbad. Now, versus Battle Wiki and other people say Sinbad is like infinite hyper. All right, yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Because as we know, for Aladdin's world is where the omnipotence go. And Sinbad defeating the other gods of the higher layers, that just has to do with order. That's ordinal gods, not cardinal gods that are cardinally higher than one another. It's ordinal. So because of that, bijection works on a one-to-one correspondence, meaning they're just gods that have different slight ranks. But there's no evidence that each god is exponentially, inaccessibly, infinitely higher than the other. Same thing with like Tenchi Muyo. Delicious. Okay. So where do we place Sinbad? I say 8-dimensional. Some may even get it higher. And I wouldn't even complain. Even if you said Sinbad was lower hyper, I mean, you would have to be able to go into more details with these, and you'd have to break it down. But I would say, for the most part, this volume alone, right? Volume 33 alone kind of indicates that, you know. The Many-Layered God chapter, which is chapter 324. Yeah. Says Sinbad is ridiculous. Like, it makes no sense. All right. So far so good. Let's move on to the next character. Extra dimensional. Now, now we're getting into it, baby. Yeah, baby. All right, so now we're extra dimensional. And as you guys could see, so good question, Macadamia. So here's my thing. I didn't put Berkanstel because Lambda Delta has shown she's usually the one they talk about more and the one who actually fought Featherine. So that's where I put her at. And I'll explain my reasoning for that. All right, so extra dimensional, here's the standard. So if multiverse level, you're looking at multiverse the lower end of multiverse could just be more than one universe. The mid end of multiverse could just be more than, I don't say 1,000 universes like versus Battle Wiki. No, it could be 10. I don't care. It's arbitrary. If you're more than 10 universes you could destroy, then I'll give you the yellow. I'll say you're mid end because, again, there's no true number to that. Infinite multiverses is red. Next up, complex. Complex multiverse just literally has to do with, like, if a multiverse is contained within a multiverse, singularity, most of us call it 5D or 6D, depending on how you want to look at it. If you're yellow, that means you're one tier infinitely above, and if you're red, you're 2 tiers infinitely above. So in that context, numerically, I'd say 8th dimensional. Once you hit 9th dimensional and extra dimensional, that's where I would put you extra dimensional. Because I don't believe in just putting them in the same tier. I think 9th dimensional is so big that it's literally ridiculous. So the 9th dimensional, and people got to remember, if you're an 8th dimensional being like Sinbad, right? And you're fighting someone like Thor, who I have here in this area, right? Bare minimum. Wait, hold on, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, just about bare minimum. I mean, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. What are you gonna do here, buddy? I have Thor around the 9th to 10th dimensional area, and it's like, okay, well, why? Because there's a lot. If they scale everything based on Marvel and DC cosmology, when that is heavily flawed because other series may not treat these topics the same. Roz is 100% right. Correct. Multi literally means more than one. Absolutely. It's crazy. People don't even believe in Infinite Universe Dragon Ball. I mean, it's 2025. If you don't believe Infinite Universe Dragon Ball, then that's a choice at that point. That's like, I don't want to believe it. And it's like, okay, because it's like at that point, you don't want them to be at that level. It's not even cognitive dissonance. It's just you don't want them to be. It's like an agenda. But to that, let's see. All right, let's see here. All right, so back to this point, Thor. I put Thor there because there are a lot of statements outside of just the Dark Dimension. The Dark Dimension is not above Yggdrasil for Marvel. And then it goes even higher than that with the Rune King Thor. And Harvado has went into the explanations about how he still has access to rune magic and such, so... So let's see. Alright, let me pull that up. Let's see here. Alright. So. Oh yeah, unrelated question. Are you fine if Dragon Ball Super gets a remake like Dragon Ball Super Kai, where it's actively followed the manga continuity just like Z Kai did? No, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, it would change to scaling, but I mean, I'd be interested to see what they keep around. It wouldn't change the scaling too much. It would change... Actually, no. It would change the scaling drastically because... I mean, Jiren blinked away a final flash from a Blue Evolution Vegeta, who was allegedly stronger than Infinite Zamasu, who took over all of the history. Like, it's... that's a big deal. So it would make a big difference. Atari, where would you scale Yusuke Urameshi, and in relation, how would he do against Ichigo? Good question, Bawa-san. I actually already have the ranking here. In relation to 1,000 Year Blood War Ichigo, Ichigo's power is fluctuated emotionally and based on what he releases. So upon initial battle, Yusuke would cripple Ichigo. He'd have Ichigo leaking blood. Ichigo would be bleeding a lot, and then Ichigo would eventually have to release his full true Bankai. And then the gap in his power would just be... Let me put it this way. Ichigo in his base form in 1,000 Year Blood War is kind of... Ichigo's 1,000 Year Blood War base compared to his Bankai is like comparing Goku's Super Saiyan 3 to his Super Saiyan God. The gap is just so astronomically big. It's just like, huh? Because Ichigo can go from someone I would solidly call less than planetary to barely to upper limits of moon level planet, maybe planet plus, you can argue, maybe, and to just jumping into like cosmic tiers, like somebody who could destroy numerous galaxies in terms of range and attack potency, because his power in that particular form is not just a 10 times Bankai. It based on the way the story presents it, it's like a ridiculous jump. It's like, oh yeah, Orihime, get out of here. I can't even go all out. Huh? Why? Cause I'm about to turn up, bro. So Ichigo is kind of like, it's kind of like the Super Saiyan God multiplier. It's just so astronomically big. It's like, it seems like it breaks the story. Because I don't think every Bleach character is even planetary, to be honest. But I do think, you know, Yuha and Ichigo are pretty much the Beerus and Goku of the series. Because Yamamoto, I don't think Yamamoto's universal. There's nothing that would ever suggest he would ever be. Nothing even suggests he's solar system level. No, not even close. The nature of his Bankai and the explanation it's given in the manga and in the novels don't indicate he is. But for Ichigo and Yuha, they're like Goku and Beerus. They just jump on a level that's so high that it's like, what? What? Like, it actually makes you like, huh? Because it's you know, and it makes sense through the lore. I mean, the Soul King took an entire construct and split it into 3. Senjumaro could shake those 3. And Senjumaro is allegedly supposed to be above Yamamoto. I did calculations on what her strength actually would entail. She should be large star. Well, I wouldn't say large. Senjumaro should be dwarf star level, because a dwarf star is harder to destroy than a large star. Fun fact. The gravitational binding energy of a dwarf star is millions of times denser than a large star. Fun fact. So we used to go back in the day, be like, oh, she's large star level. No. It takes millions of times more energy to destroy a dwarf star. Versus Battle Wiki got it backwards. Because the gravitational binding energy for a dwarf star is ridiculous. Yeah, fun fact. Now you guys learned something new. Alright. Yeah, I figured it was a stomp. It depends. Like, if Ichigo doesn't go into Bankai right on time, Yusuke actually might incapacitate him. Like, Yusuke might knock him out. Just straight up, like, nights out. So it depends. Are we going for a fight to the death or a tournament? Because if it's a tournament level fight, I mean, Yusuke might just punch Ichigo's lights out. And then Ichigo's like, damn, that dude hits hard. Because the thing is, you got to remember, Sensui's aura is a threat to the planet. I've already went into details about how Sensui is quite literally 1,000 plus to 10,000 times weaker than Yusuke. And if I go by the multipliers of the sacred energy, quite literally 100,000 times weaker than Yusuke. If Sensui is mathematically throughout the series, I'm not throwing any stupid logic in there. If somebody aura, it's like, hey, I'm 100,000 times stronger than you aura-wise. What do you think Yusuke's punch could do? If Sensui's aura could do that to the planet, what do you think Yusuke's punch will do? And they make it very clear it's different. Yu Hakusho people's aura flexes incinerate. Like Sensui and Yusuke, when even the B-class demons that came next to them to Goro class, which were like large, they were literally... Even A-class, who are multi-country level, Koenma told Kurama, Hiei, and Kuwabara to stay away from the spirit tornado, because even though that's just energy and aura, that aura alone would incinerate them and kill them instantaneously. So literally just kind of Yusuke... So like if Yusuke fought Esdeath, like if Sensui fought Continental Esdeath, he would power up and she would literally die. She would just burn, just like kind of how Sinbad like got incinerated for going closer, like here. That would happen to Esdeath. She would literally just get incinerated just from him aura flexing. The aura flexing in Yu Yu Hakusho is worse than Ryatsu because it's so violent. It's worse than Dragon Ball. I think Yu Yu Hakusho has the most violent aura flexes I've ever seen, besides maybe that one character from King of Fighters, but we're talking anime, so, you know. So, what I'm getting at is, if Yusuke just starts the battle at 100, Ichigo won't even have time to unleash his Bankai by the time he gets clocked. I don't think Ichigo is going to take the attack potency of 10,000 times planetary to the face and just wake up. No, that probably might kill him if he's not on guard or if his Ryatsu isn't released. But then again, his Quincy, side might protect him, but it depends. So, he might just get knocked out and be like, It's like when Baki fought Spec. Baki was stronger than Spec, but Spec caught Baki off guard and just stomped him. So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you, Roz. Yeah, Iori, unless it's like a KOF character, then, What speed do you have for Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach? Because it might go down to that. Bleach is more obvious because we have more numbers. Yu Yu Hakusho is more difficult because D-Class Kuwabara had a character named Musashi who was using light speed attacks that Rando could dodge. So, because Musashi rains down photons. And that's consistent because Yusuke's first spirit gun bounced off a mirror to Hiei because Yusuke used light as an example. So, yeah. Then you got, goodness, let me pull up some scans. Because I do want to save the later points. Let's see what we got. Yeah, guys, ignore this. This is Moro after this. Okay, I don't know why we got that picture. Thank you so much, Wank Detective. I greatly appreciate that, man. Wow. Yo, let's get some fires in the chat for the 10 euros from Wank Detective. Thank you so much. That does mean a lot to me. Merry Xmas, my bro. Thank you. And yeah, absolutely. I could get into that. Oh yeah, we're always off track, but that's okay. Oh, what was I doing off? This Moro is outer versal, but that's because he went to the I mean, I think we can all agree this Moro we use no, I'm just kidding. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so is this, and there's this. Okay, here it is. Ray gun. Oh yeah, many times more the punch. Yeah. Anyway, I warn you that spirit light reflection impulsion thing that you use on Shishirakumaru will not work on me. That technique requires that both your energies be at the same wavelength, or you can't use it, right? So in other words, he could use harmonics to basically shift his wavelength at any time. So it's very, very difficult to predict it, and it's light-based. So that's another aspect of it. So Yu Yu Hakusho utilizing light speed has happened early. So just off of that alone, you can argue characters are tens of hundreds of thousands of times light speed, combat-wise, in Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, even Shishirakumaru, when Kuwabara sliced him, he thought he actually hit something, and then Shishirakumaru says, that was just my shadow. So, outspeeding their shadows was done... When Uryu outsped his own shadow, yeah, Shishirakumaru already was doing that, while holding back, by the way. So, I guess it really just depends. And then you got characters like Botan, who could travel to places where light can't even reach, and Botan could still escape it. So there's a lot that goes into that. It really depends. So Yu Yu Hakusho. Moro used that baby. Put that hole through Goku. I hate you. Yo, we gotta answer Wank Detective's question though. Oh boy. Yeah, don't talk about that Moro. That Moro is yeah. That's the strongest Moro. This is now the official strongest Moro. Okay. Anyway. All right, so let's talk a little bit about it. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's go back into it. All right, so guys, so about Odin, about Thor. All right, so let's find the scan. So we already know that the dark dimension is above the sixth dimension. Okay. And there's older scans that support that. Let me look up Midgard. But yeah, to explain the battle, in my opinion, though, to answer your question, I can answer half of the question while I'm getting everything else. But like Detective, to answer your question, you ask me do I think Thor does Goku stomp Thor? All right. No, I don't think it's a stomp because Goku never does his battles that way. Goku likes to test his limits. So if anything, Thor might actually win because Goku acts like he don't know any better. And this is thanks to Dragon Ball Super's Goku. Now, if we're using DBZ OG Goku and Goku's locked in, then Goku does beat Thor pretty easily. Specifically because Goku has showed more consistent showcasings of casuality. Goku's just way more casual. He's more casual than pretty much a lot of characters you're going to see on this list. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Lambda Delta was placed here in extra dimensional because Umi Neko, a lot of the scans that argue for outerversal Umi Neko are not good. I require a lot to be considered outerversal, and the primordial aspect of where Lambda Delta sits really just indicates she's strong, but she ain't that strong. The Umi Neko has the Ryun people. The Ryun people have crossed the fifth dimension. Then you got the Kakera. Then you have the bookshelf or the library, which is Beatrice's realm as well. Beatrice is higher than that, I believe. And then Lambda Delta, according to a conversation they had, is even higher than Beatrice, the Golden Witch. At least from what I remember as a Voyager. So, with that being said, Lambda Delta's position as a witch, and the fact that she was bold enough to fight Featherine, Lambda Delta is more of a... She doesn't even really hit. That's just an avatar she uses to depict herself because of what she really is. So, in that context, she's extremely powerful. But I just don't see her approaching specific numeric dimensions that I would consider to be higher than what most people claim. So going by the same metric I use for everyone else, she doesn't get a pass. She doesn't. When they say, oh, it's going down an endless ladder, I don't care. Well, what is an endless ladder? I can interpret that in too many different ways. And you're going to know when it comes to the versus battle, we, just like the wiki used to do to us before, nah, we want the numbers, bro. Tell us how many numbers they transcend. Make it very clear. If there's any guesswork that could go behind it, nah. The higher the evidence, the higher the claim, the more evidence we're going to want. Just in general. So that's why we don't immediately jump there. All right, let's see here. The Burkhan style, she would be in the same realm. Feathering is on here, by the way. All right, I will show you guys. Sorry, another unrelated question. If Goku in the future managed to fully master and perfected his Ultra Instinct to be his base constantly, would you think he would still use the white-haired form? Yeah, because the white-haired form is a limit breaker. That's from what I understand. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so next up, people who are wondering why Goku's here, I did a whole video on that. I think Fire's in the chat. I think we all know why Goku should be in the higher extra dimensional realm. I think we all know why, right? I don't think there's a need to ad nauseum that point. So to save us time, so we could dive into other things, we're just gonna move forward. Next up, Hyper Versal. Oh yeah, this gets this gets interesting. Oh yeah, yeah, baby. Woohoo! This is intense. Let's get it. Let's get it, baby. 2A or low 2C. Mateo, that's because they don't like Dragon Ball. They hate it. That's the only thing you could say, bro. They don't like Dragon Ball. They hate it. So, let's go into it. Sorry, guys. So, based on what you're seeing here, how many of you guys are surprised to see some of these characters up here in this tier? Like this right here. Y'all see it, right? Oh, yes. And yes. 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 I said it. Anos is up there. He's up there. Mm-hmm. Yep. He's up there. Anos is up there. I'll explain. Let me cook. Alright, so Ijimu is quite obvious. Will a Dragon Ball Heroes character be on the tier list? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, the Venos Danoa is carrying. And the Grand Priest and Anos, their tiering is a little bit arbitrary because it's not that Anos is definitively... That doesn't mean Anos wins a fight, by the way. It just is like, as far as his output and what we know for the Silver Sea, it's a more confident pick. Ijimu, it's very obvious. The Hulk, I gotta pull up that scan again, but the Hulk is very obvious with who he's dealt with, such as Thor, Thanos, where the Hulk sits. The Hulk is quite obviously there, yeah. Ijimu, she has control over Super String Theory. Complete control. And she's above it. Super String Theory goes up to the 10th dimension. So putting her on the 11th dimensional shorthand is very consistent. Or 12th. Well, this isn't Xeno Grand Prix. This is just regular DBZ Grand Prix. The Beerus is clear why Beerus is there. Because even though Goku and Vegeta's gotten that much stronger, Beerus still hasn't even fully went all out. And he's still whooping their butt. So, yeah. Yeah, that part is obvious. Now, Sonic. Archie Sonic. I did a video on Archie Sonic. It's kind of clear where he stands. This character is ridiculous. But for those who don't know, there's something called the Chaos Force. And then there's another realm, the Afterlife, in the Dream World. So because of those, and I didn't even mention those in my last video. So, and then there's another level of energy. There's like other energies in Archie Sonic. Let me see if I can find it. The next evolution is one of them. We know the No Zone, the Chaos Force too. But yeah, with the Chaos Force is with all, and then there's the source of all. So let me see. So with Archie Sonic, there's a little phenomenon known as the source of all. And with that being said, that alone kind of like speaks for itself. So with the source of all, the Chaos Force, these phenomena are a part of the reason why. They're part of the reason why I have Archie Sonic up here. Because instead of 9th dimensional, like my last video said, Archie Sonic would easily jump up exponentially because of these existing realms. Because the source of all and the Chaos Force add additional rankings to it. So there's that. And the fact that God Sigma said he'd go beyond the facet of creation, yeah. You can even argue Archie Sonic is even higher. You might even be able to argue Archie Sonic much higher than where he is here. So if you really want to, you could say Archie Sonic is sitting up here with Ming Hao. Ming Hao is we'll talk about him in a minute. Grand Priest is very simple. Grand Priest, he doesn't have a numerical number we could really utilize, but we know for a fact there's really no reason to suspect that he would be lower than, that he isn't infinitely stronger than Beerus. So him just being infinitely stronger than Beerus gives my implication. And he's infinitely stronger than Whis. Why? Because look at Beerus. Alright, so when we look at Beerus, the Grand Priest, without even being in the multiverse, erased him. The Grand Priest literally erased Beerus out of existence. The angelic rules, we thought the angelic rules killed Beerus. No, the Grand Priest actually did that. He let it happen. He said, no, I personally erased him, resurrected him, and then gave him a lifespan. So Grand Priest could remove your lifespan. So, yeah. I didn't put Grand Priest above Anos in terms of destructive capacity. Anos is 100 plus dimensional because of the Silver Sea. Now, I know a lot of people go, no, you can't say that. A lot of people who are watching my last short, that's only 5D. That's only... Shut up. Shut up. Seriously, shut up. The same novel itself says, I could destroy a whole world here, but in this shallower realm, meaning deeper realm or higher dimension in this context, I cannot destroy even a single ship. If a boat, my guy, if I could destroy an infinite universe and then I go to a higher realm, but then I try to destroy a boat, a regular sailboat, and it's so durable that my infinite level of destructive capacity from another realm can't destroy it, It's a higher dimension. And if that's a consistent basis that was written by the author for every realm that goes deeper and deeper, as they say, a world God world, first off, the first layer, the way it's described, is already a macrocosm and is already like 5D. So the first layer of the Silver Sea is already 5 to 6 dimensional by itself. The second would be 7. Third will be 8, and it goes on. So that alone, by the nature of how they present it, get out of here, bro. And actually, you could even go higher. Because in the second layer, remember, each layer is treated that way. So if I go to the second layer, and a physical finite object like a boat is more durable than the 5th dimensional layer from the first Silver Sea, then that boat requires 5D destructive capacity to destroy, or more. So even if you are 5D plus, you can't destroy a boat. Now, if the second layered world of the Silver Sea, if the boat of the second layered world is 5D, that means the planet is even stronger. Now imagine how strong the second layer's universe is. That's 6D. And then they have a world within the world. So that's 7D. So the second layer jumps up by like 2 or 3 spatial dimensions in terms of dimensional tiering capacity. So bro, even if I argue Anos can only destroy 3 layers of the Silver Sea, that's still going to put him in hyperversal just because the nature of how it works. I'm telling you, you know, y'all don't believe me? Let me cook. Hold on. I'm about to beat someone's ass. Let me cook real quick. I appreciate. Yeah, I agree. Anos is him. A lot of people don't want to admit that though. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something.
Why Anos might be hyperversal. Now, Anos is not to be underestimated. According to the author himself, the cosmology is straightforward. However, let's keep it in simple terms.
I think there are still many people who misunderstand the true meaning of the Silver Sea. Here's an easy explanation of the true meaning of the Silver Sea. All right, so I'm going to read this. Here's proof. So listen, I think there are still many people who misunderstand the true meaning of the Silver Sea. Here's an easy explanation of the true meaning of the Silver Sea. There are many layers in the Silver Sea, and there are countless bubbles in each layer. Okay. And there's an infinite sky in each bubble. Whoa, hold up. So there's infinite bubbles in a layer, and then each bubble has an infinite sky. Okay. All right, let's go. There, it stretches on endlessly with no end. All right, so they're definitely trying to hammer in the idea it's infinite. And it is there, and it is where the world gods is located. Okay. So a bubble is an infinite universe in size, and there's an infinite number of them in each layer. Okay. Each god has its own world. Yup. And there is a deeper world. Hold on, a deeper? The world of the Lord God, or the abyssal world. So is the size of each layer infinite? Yes. So hold on, a deeper world. So we got a bubble. The bubble has an infinite world, and then it has a deeper world within the bubble. So that's 2 universes within this bubble. So the bubble itself is low multiversal. 2 universes in this bubble. The bubble can contain 2 infinities while still not clashing with the other infinite amount of bubbles. So, by logic, that bubble is 5D. There's an infinite number of them, meaning the first layer of the Silver Sea, being able to contain an infinite number of 5D bubbles, is 6-dimensional by default, or infinite 5D. But because it's great, but because the layer is infinite, as he says, so in each size is a layer infinite? Yes. So it means that the layer is infinitely bigger than an infinite subset of 5D bubbles. Bada boom, bada bing. In layman's terms, the layer is 6D. So the first layer of Anos is 6-dimensional. And he says, yes, each layer of the Silver Sea has infinite size. There are 99 layers of the Silver Sea already described in this novel. Matter of fact, there's still many layers deeper than 99 in the Silver Sea. That's all I have to say about the Silver Sea. Thank you for reading my work, and I appreciate it. So if the author is saying this himself, it's very clear where their intention is. Okay?
According to what we know, the Silver Sea is the main cosmology structure, where each layer is infinite, holding an infinite amount of bubbles within each layer, and each bubble in each infinite layer holds an infinite sky. And with that said, it's even worse. Each infinite sky holds its own world god, and each world god has their own world lord god in the abyssal world, and it's been...
Now, here's where we get crazy. In this small world that exists deeper than yours, the power of everything is in another dimension. Strength, speed, stubbornness, magic, everything. The resistance of a single grain of air. Even so, it will be a weight for you. Even if I cast magic that will destroy your shallow world, I won't be able to destroy a single ship here. In other words, wow, you could destroy an entire bubble? So you could destroy an entire 50 construct in my world. Hold up, but you're telling me in this second layer of the Silver Sea, this small world, this little boat, this sailboat, this ship, you can't destroy? Yeah. So you're telling me you could destroy what we would generally put in the Versus Battle Wiki terms an infinite number of timelines. Oh yeah. But, or at least a fifth dimensional construct in that case. Absolutely. Spatial wise, that's ridiculous strength. But you can't even destroy a little boat? No. Because in the second layer, it's so much stronger. It's deeper. It's stronger. Strength, speed, magic is on another plane of existence. It's different here. So you guys have higher, basically it's not just a higher dimension, aka deeper realm in this context, because they go by descendancy. They don't transcend, they descend, but it's the same thing. They're just switching around the jargon because we're talking about an ocean rather than a sky. But the oh my god. What? Oh! Oh! Thank you so much, Macadamia. Yo, fire in the chat for Macadamia. Holy moly. Thank you so much. Yo, thank you. Macadamia, this really means a lot to me. Oh my gosh, I did not expect this at all. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. It really means a lot to see that. Wow. Whoa. That I'm not gonna lie, that's the first time the Zelda theme scared the stuffing out of me. I was like, what the freak is that? Yo, thank you so much. Everyone fires in the chat for Macadamia. Holy moly, you are insane, my guy. Thank you. It really means a lot. That is the craziest thank you. And even if it is off topic, I could see where you're coming from. This may be off topic. All right, let's read it. Let's read it, chat. This may be off topic, but I do believe that the Mario verse, specifically for characters like Super Dimensional, would be at least mid-complex multi, to at best mid-extra dimensional, above Kid Buu to below Thor. I could see that. Specifically because the list you did and the explanations were really well orchestrated, if I'm going to be honest. So yeah, absolutely. Wow, thank you so much, man. Holy monkey. That is awesome. Thank you. Whoa. You have a more refined hierarchy on the way. I look forward to seeing it, Macadamia. Thank you again. Wow, so that was hype. Thank you so much, Macadamia. And yeah, we're gonna keep going, of course. And again, shout out to Macadamia for that. Crazy big ups there. And let's I'm trying not to like scream, but yeah, that was, man, that really means so much. And then let's continue looking here. All right, so let's see here. Where was I? See, I'm losing my mind. The donation like was so amazing. Thank you. All right, so let's see. It says here. It's just so it's different here. Okay. See. Okay. So what I was saying is, the idea would be that what Anos Voldigold, yes, we were talking about the gods above gods.
Stated in the series, it's in world destroying a high.
So basically, even if we do say that, the bottom line would be if a single sailboat is 5D plus in the second layer, then imagine how strong the bubbles in the second layer are. They got to be six. Well, the first layer is 6 dimensional. Then the second layer bubbles got to be 6 dimensional, meaning it's a 7th dimensional layer because and the list goes on. So basically, you're getting 2 inaccessible infinities per layer, and the story of Misfits of a Demon King for the Anos Voldigold novel. Within that framework, that makes perfect sense. So, in other words, that's why I said Anos is ridiculous. All right, let me see here. Let's see here. So let's go. So bottom line is that alone, you can argue Anos is 99 plus dimensional. Or well, there's 99 layers, and if each one is 2D starting with 5, the Anos is at least 100 something dimensional. Which you can't tell people that. They would lose their mind. But yeah. Hey! Welcome, Amena Zebulon. Welcome. Thank you for coming through the stream. Can Master Ultra Instinct dodge a slash from Anos? No. Because the Venos de Noah says no matter how illogical it is, it will hit. So even if it's like, I'm supposed to dodge everything, it breaks logic. So unless Goku was stronger than Anos, then he can't dodge him. That's how I would look at it. Because, yeah. Ming Hao. Ming Hao is a beast. Let's just put it that way. Ming Hao is a beast. Let's just put it that way. Let me see. So, that's a good question. So, Meng Hao is from a novel. Let me see here. I believe it's I Shall Seal the Heavens, if I recall. But, he does a lot of crazy stuff. And, like, one of the statements quite literally tell us that he's above layers that make up the universe. And not just layers, like strings. Like, they actually describe strings itself that make dimensions. So, he quite literally is infinite hyperversal. Like, you can't even... And we're not talking Nirvana alone. We're talking about, like, the guy actually hits that level. Hey, what's up, quality content? Guess what of what? Tell me. Let me see here. So let's see. Bro! Yo! Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You... Ah! That is awesome. Yo, quality content. What the hell is going on? Bro, y'all gonna give me a heart attack. I am going to pass out. That's gotta be. I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. I'm dreaming right now, ain't I? It can't be. It can't be. There's no way. We are in a dream right now. Bro, there's no way that happened. I am in a dream, and that's all there is to it. There's gotta be a dream. Hold on. There's no way. Like, there's no way. Okay, I gotta. Nope. Hold on. I gotta play that again. Because. Hold on. That is this. You know what I'm saying? Like this. This is amazing. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. That's not real. It's gotta be a genjutsu. It's a genjutsu. Thank you so much. Hold on. It's gotta be a genjutsu. This is a genjutsu, my guy. This gotta be a genjutsu. Oh my Donkey Kong Bonanza. Are you kidding me? Yo, where's everyone coming from with this stuff? Hold on. This can't be like reality. This can't be reality. I'm not. This is a genjutsu. This is a genjutsu. Hold on. Let me see this alert box. All right, hold on. All right, this. Wow. Shout out to the best part. Thank you so much.
Yo man, you missing a rally in that infinite hyperversal tier.
Yo! Y'all gotta stop! This is crazy! Yo! Shoot! Nah. This can't be the reality, though. Oh my God! There's no way! Oh my God! There's no way. I thought this was a Genji. Thank you so. Where did you get the money from? There's no way you can do this to me. You cannot do this. I am There's no way. Like, there's no way, bro. No way. Oh my gosh, I gotta be dreaming right now. Pinch me. Yo, there's no way, my guy. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. No, thank you so much. What the heck? No. There's no way. Hold on. Let me check. Let me go to the let me go to the super chat. Hold on. I gotta see. All right, let's go to the recent events. Yeah. I'm gonna replay that because we like for those who didn't hear it at first because I had the volume. Here's what it actually sounds like when he did what he did last time. Yeah.
Broly voice here is a present for you.
Yo. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Good quality content. Bro, I'm getting bodied here. All right, we got to stop before like I actually like wake up everyone in the house cuz I will scream. I will see if that ends up happening again, I'm going to Super Saiyan 3 scream as long as I actually can. Like I will put the music on and just like start shouting. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Let's so we gotta thank Wank Detective for the 10, Macadamia for the $50, 10 euros, Macadamia for the $50, good quality content for the $100. Oh my gosh, dude, you're insane. James Eubanks for the $5. Thank you so much. You're insane. DFR 464. You are insane. 2 euros. Thank you so much. $20 from Vegeta Scales. Dude, you're ridiculous right now. And then getting a super... No.
Here's more support. Also, can you do a power scaling content for Marvel in the future?
Oh my... There's no way. Nah, hold up. We gotta put it on. There's no way. I can't. This. There's no way. Is to go even further beyond? Oh my gosh. Bro. This is crazy. Shoot, I almost passed out. Oh God. Oh shoot. I got tears in my eyes. It's unreal. How is he generating that much power? Dude, Dad, it's too much. Like, damn, bro. Holy moly, there's no way this is happening to me. Did we literally almost hit $300 for the... Oh my God. We almost hit... We are at 2... There's no way. Yo, shout outs, fires. Forget fire, bro. We gotta have explosions, bro. Yo. Let's give some volcanoes in the chat for Wank Detective, Macadamia, good quality content, everyone, bro. Let's get some volcanoes in the chat. Yes, volcanoes, baby. Yo, let's go. Let's get those explosions, volcanoes, bro. That is crazy. These dudes literally gave me a Super Saiyan multiplier. They're giving me Super Saiyan multipliers. That's ridiculous. That is, and you guys don't realize how much this actually means. I mean, because, you know, we were actually dealing with automobile issues, and this alone just helps out so much for, wow, this is great. Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. We really appreciate the support, and this is definitely going to go a long way. And wow, that is That is. Damn! No! 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 Oh my god. Oh man. Yo, my chair fell, bro. Shoot. God damn. I'm Mr. Too Slippery. Okay. Yo, that's... Bro. Vegeta Scales. Thank you so much, man. Oh, man. Thank you so much. Holy crap. You are... Yo, more volcanoes, chat. More volcanoes, bro. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's that lava right there. That's heat, bro. Thank you so much. This is crazy. I think I might actually break the microphone. Like, the next one, no more. No more. Thank you so much, Harvada, for the $1.99. Thank you, everyone. I know. Right? If I am going to end up... I'm just going to say rip headphone user for the next one. If there... It can't be. 350... Bro, did you... 350? That's master... That's like Piccolo's power level, bro. Yo, that's crazy. This is... You guys, the support. It's like ridiculous. This is too much. You are doing too much. All right. Skate in the building. If you want me, you guys probably, I will do the next live stream roller skating and asking people their opinions on the next power scale. Don't play with me because I will do that. Let me relax. Cause like right now, I knocked over my chair. I am losing it. It's going crazy, man. Y'all. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas to everyone. You know.
WHO's gonna stop me.
This my internet broke. Nigga, my internet broke. Nigga, it broke. I'm not even playing. Hold on. Let me screenshot this. Hold up. Bro, look. Hold on. Look. It broke, nigga. I was Damn. Yo, man. Bro, woke up his wife. Yeah, where is this coming from? This bank, bro. Damn, bro. Me too. What? Shout out to Super Dementio. Yo, Macadamia, you are ridiculous, bro. You guys can't do this to me. Wow. You can't do this. This is great. Yeah. Okay.
You should do the skating video.
No. No.
Good.
No. No.
Okay.
No. 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 No.
Your reaction was funny.
No. Bro! This is crazy! Oh my goodness. Shareholders? Yeah, like, where are you guys getting this from? You'll stop for now. Don't put parentheses, but guy. Like, holy crap. You guys are ridiculous. Thank you so much. Yo, this is crazy. Why am I getting bodied right now? Oh my gosh. Yo, this is bananas. This is potassium right now. Oh my gosh. Like, bro. Like, do y'all realize? Like, this is how I feel right now, bro. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right now, bro. No, thank you so much. In all seriousness, Macadamia, you guys are doing some of the most craziest stuff I've seen. Like, I've never heard the Zelda freaking theme that many
One more for the road.
Whoa! 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 Oh shoot! Nah, bro. Nah. What is it? Why is it spazzing out? Why is it spazzing out?
Yeah, I see it. It is.
Bro, his little thing's having a freaking seizure. It's going like I can't even click it. Oh man. Yeah, for real. Like, where did you get this from? He said, bro, nah, bro. Like, no. Like, where? Where? He robs banks. Like, good quality content. You gotta stop. Like, I'm actually asking you to just stop. I know people are like, why would you ask him to stop? No! I can't handle this. I think I woke up my whole family.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm still doing cleaning.
No. Where? Oh my gosh. Like, did dude make a deal with Nike? Like, where did you get this from, bro? Are you actually Gordon Ramsay yourself? Like, your bank. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is the craziest. This broke the record. This broke it. This is the record. This is the all-time high that we've ever made in any stream. We've never made this much ever in any stream. This is crazy. $560 is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, exactly. Like, why? This is crazy. Yo, that's... Nah, bro. I can't. Nah. Nope. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Man, for real, though. Bro, what was that? That was crazy. Yo, let's go! James, Eubank, $2 donation. Let's freaking go, baby. Let's freaking go. I don't care if it's 50 cents. I'm popping off for everything now. Damn, I actually think. Sweetheart, can I please get my coconut water from the fridge? My throat is fried. Oh, man. Now I sound like Goku Super Saiyan 3 or 4.
Yes? Did you call me?
Yeah, can I have my coconut water from the refrigerator?
Okay.
Great, now I sound like Snake. Get out of here, dog!
He needs a diaper change.
Yes, our dog wears diapers. I'm
Yes,
not
he
even
does.
joking. Oh my gosh, you guys,
He's
thank
a
you
senior
so
dog.
much.
A senior.
How? How is this happening? We.
I'll be right back with your coke. With your coconut water.
Thank you. Thank you. No, bro. Like, no, it's not broken. No more. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. That's ridiculous. You thank you so much, bro. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you. And I have to oh my gosh. Like, thank you so much. I don't even know what to say right now. Like, damn, bro. This Dean still showing the tearing. That's what I'm saying. It's hard right now.
As long as Dante is in the Royal Guard style with a triple S stylish rank, he is certainly mocking.
Who made this? Oh my gosh. Oh man, all this because I wanted to give my 2 cents on Super Dimentio's placement in the tier. Yeah, Super Dimentio is now the like I'm about to change my avatar to Super Dimentio. Like I like stop playing with me. Don't play with me. Like y'all have no idea. Like stop playing with me. Oh. Yeah, this is me right now, bro.
Here's your coconut water.
Thank you, sweetie. Oh my gosh. Like I need to I don't know what is going on today. I feel like I'm still dreaming. Like I'm like dead ass. Like I actually feel like I'm asleep right now. There's no way this is happening. That's crazy, bro. Whew. Whew, that's freezing cold. But it's so soothing. Yes, everyone. Okay. The hype. Bro, like I can't. I can't right now, bro. I can't. Like just hear those sleigh bells ring, ring, ding, 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 too. And I'd be lovely weather and in sleigh ride together with a Jew. Like, damn, bro. His cheeks are rosy and oh my goodness. Like, my brain is fried, bro. Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't even know. Where am I? Where am I? This is crazy. Damn, bro. Thank you guys so much. This really means a lot. Damn right, I lost my mind. All right, so like donation to viewer ratio is ridiculous. Like we have 16 concurrent viewers, and it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Because usually people who get this type of stuff have like 1,000 viewers, like 800 viewers. We got 16, and it's humble and it's loyalty. It goes to show you that it's not about the numbers. It's about the quantity and, the quality and the loyalty. And wow, you guys are so supportive. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Merry Xmas, everyone, to those who keep it and observe it. And this is just like, oh my gosh, like, damn, I'm more exhausted. I go to a skating session and I'll skate for like 4 hours, and you guys have already exhausted me. but I'm still strong, and we'll still keep going. So, yes, finally some good quality content. Thank you so much, man. Okay. All right. Before the ridiculousness goes into play. Yeah, I'm good, man. Damn right. I'm very grateful for everything. I'm very grateful for everything. Wait, why is there... Ha! I don't know why they have that. All right, you know what? I gotta... Hold on, guys. I gotta do something. Yep. Yep, I gotta do this. Okay. Okay. Shoot. All right. Geez, my guys. This is like ridiculous narcissist. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is. This is crazy. Like, I never thought somebody would actually reach the pinnacle to have, such a thing be reached. That's crazy. To me it's crazy, because it's like, damn. Wow. Thank you guys so much, and thanks everyone who contributed today. Wow. That's crazy. This is crazy. Is this the world we live in? This cannot be the world that we live in. Okay. All right. So, kind of get it back into it if we can, if that's even possible, because it's at this point, I still can't believe that actually happened. All right. Like, it's crazy, bro. Y'all gotta like chill. But all right. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Ming Hao. So we know Ming Hao is like ridiculously strong. Yes. Yep. Yeah, so with Ming Hao, the difference is Ming Hao is pretty much a character who is shown in you know his novels respectfully, who hits that crazy level of power. Essentially. Let me see here. Let me see if I can look into it further. Give me 1 second. So that's the thing with Ming Hao, and that's essentially what makes it a lot, you know. Let me see here. Let me see. Let's see front. All right. Give me 1 second here. Chat. I will be. Hey, man. Hey, for sure, man. Thank you for stopping by. Stream Up Fanboy. Do appreciate you coming through to support the stream. That is awesome. Thanks again for coming by, and you know, again, I want to thank you so much for you stopping by. Your support is appreciated, and same with everyone else. Thank you, guys. All right, let's see. All right. So the next character, we did Meng Hao already, so let's gonna jump to the next one because we already kind of talked about Meng Hao. But yeah, ultimately though, Meng Hao in the actual verse is that guy. He is that guy from the series. All right, so moving forward, we are going to take a look here, and then we're going to jump to the next tier. Now, the next tier is going to be interesting. All right, the next tier, Demi Outer, my friends. Now, keep in mind, for those who don't know, this tier list was made prior to the stream that Roz posted, that I did, where Roz showed more evidence for Sargon. So Sargon is actually going to get an upgrade, just for those who need to be aware. So Sargon will get an upgrade. This list is still kind of technically old, by that metric. So, who do we have in Demi Outer? Ban Sargon in this instant. We got Featherine Augustus Aurora. Sargon, who actually is going to be higher. We got Beat. A lot of people don't realize this. Beat is placed there for a reason. Demi Outer and Eternity. Now, what is Demi Outer? Demi Outer is the implication that you are outerversal and that you typically do go beyond any metric of spatial dimensions or temporal, but it's not quite 100% definitive. The reason it's Demi Outer is because true outerversal is basically infinite. Like true. Like if you're beyond the concept of measurement, then there's really no tier for you. What is the point?
So this is for people who still are measurable in strength, still fight, etc., but have different outcomes. Featherine sits here because nothing exclusively says she is beyond a perpetual monolithical infinity. Okay? So demi-outer is my version of low outer, where it's not truly outer, but it's demi because basically within the normal framework of a hyperversal, they're either, in other words, it's like another way to say complex hyperversal. Okay? Xenogoku is stronger than Beat, so I think that kind of answers your question. I didn't put him here yet. Not yet. But Eternity? Nobody here is at true outer versal yet. Not yet, at least. Eternity is beyond transfinite. Just like the living tribunal, they would be here in demi-outer. Okay? Same with B. Sargon will actually be slightly above the living tribunal once I upgrade him. Because what he has done indicates somebody... Because remember, oh, I don't exist anymore. Wait, what? Yeah, I know. Well, so why don't you just exist? Hey, you're right. You know what? Yeah, that is a true... Like, Sargon literally said, oh yeah, I don't exist. Huh? Well, I guess I could just exist again. Yeah, go ahead. All right, I'll exist again. And he exists, and then he's stronger. That doesn't make any sense. No, Feathering is actually higher. So Vegeta scales. Here's why Feathering is the GOAT. If you do Feathering Augustus Aurora versus Lambda Delta, if you actually look at some of the scans here, this is actually what happens in their fight. Okay? So when she's fighting Lambda Delta, she literally says, oh, yeah, this is an interesting story. So here's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put that I want this, that, and that to happen. She literally sits down and says, so what's going to happen is she pauses existence and says, says, so you want to fight me? Okay. Yeah, you can fight me. But here's what I'm going to do, sweetheart. I'm going to make it so that, forgive me, but I will not implement your scenario. I'm the one who will record the script of what happens next. So she is beyond reality. This is crazier than Yuha. She basically says, she's like attacking her. Feathering! She's like, all right, hold up, pause. Let me edit that real quick. So she basically just goes into developer mode and just decides, you know what? Here's what I'm going to put in your story. I want you in your story, because she literally says, I want you in your story to yell at me, call out my name, say you're going to do this, throw out a final attack, and then you're going to scream my name, and then suddenly a blast is going to hit you up against the wall. It's going to scatter your arms, legs, and limbs, and your head, and then you're just going to die a very heroic death. Yeah, I think that would be, yeah, let's do that. That's literally what she does. She literally says, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, let's do that. Because she says, yeah, let's do that. And she does it, and then that's exactly what happens. Her arms, legs, and everything just go flying off, and she dies. Because Feathering said, yeah, let's do it. Let's make the story like that. Here's the up close image for those who want to see it. So that's how the fight ended up. This is just one of the words with which to praise me. So she literally killed her just because she's like, yeah, let me write how you're gonna die. That makes no sense. How are you gonna run into a wall and your arms just scattered? No, it's because Feathering just said, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Here you go. Bye. And then that's it. She literally just falls into a wall and dies like that. And they're like, huh? How did that happen? Cause she wrote it that way. So Featherine is, yeah, she's no joke. You gotta be Xeno Goku. You wanna fight someone like that? You gotta be Xeno Goku, cause she's a meta character. She's crazy. Lore accurate, creative Minecraft. Daishinkan. Daishinkan. Jeez, I don't even know. I feel like he would be above Eternity in my opinion. That is good hydration. Yes. Finally. I can tell you this. I felt a lot stronger than I did before. Thank you so much. Okay. Alright, so like what happens next? So we obviously know who these guys are, and I think that's pretty much where the list stops. But where does the list continue? Well, there's one more. Omni Absolute! Omni Absolute is the peak. Okay? I don't care what Versus Battle Wiki says. The one above all and Aslan are at the Omni Absolute. Roz could tell you why Aslan would sit here, and that makes sense. Torybot would be here too, but yeah. And for those who are wondering, Roz, why don't you tell people why Aslan from Narnia would be here? Because a lot of people don't realize how crazy Aslan is. Like really, like in the novels. Alright, let me check here. Yes. Let's take a look from what Roz has said.
It's over. No. I'm here to save you from yourself.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. GG's, bro. That's actually really fire. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Aslan is literally, yeah, exactly. Like, literally in the Narnia is just, spoiler alert, but Narnia is just one world out of a monolithical infinity that were made. And he's like, oh, well, I actually exist in the same world where Susan and all of them, he's like, oh, I made that plane of existence too. I'm just a version of Jesus in this particular dimension. And I exist in every place that could be imagined, not imagined. I'm like, what? So, yeah, Aslan is quite literally, yeah. For those who don't know. Whew. Oh, boy. Whew. 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 All right, so we got 30 more minutes of stream time. I think we've been doing a good job with the stream so far. It hasn't been too short, has it? I think we've been streaming for 2 hours. So about a half hour left. So, yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, so that is our definitive for the power scaling tier list. So here's the official. And there's a lot of characters who I could put here below. I just haven't worked on all of them yet. But yeah. It's interesting. Now again, this tier list isn't always in order either, but it just gives you guys an idea. I don't know where I don't know where Super Dragon Ball Heroes Grand Prix sits. I feel like Super Dragon Ball Heroes Grand Prix would be high demi outer or low true outer. But there really is no such thing as low true outer. That doesn't exist. And as you can see, the white outline means there is no low or high end. It just is. It is what it is. So that's what I'm saying. That is really cool. I like how Sargon actually has that. But yeah, Sargon is banned. He's quite literally that crazy. Not at all. Good quality content, I could check for you. Let me, for you, absolutely. Thank you. Gaming power scaling channel. Okay. What are we looking for? Yeah, Toribot would be on the absolute because, I mean... Let's see. Miracle Man. Damn, Joker! Power Geyser! It's loading, and sorry about the background volume. Give it a minute. No problem. Alright, let's see here.
Are you ready?
That's Raj. You can definitely tell that's Raj. You hear him? Take a look. So I also want to say to people who don't know any better, there's been characters, there are versus battle matchups that are like so cringe. Fight or spite? They say my favorite spite matchups. So let's see. All right, chat. So what do you guys think of this? How much spite is this matchup? I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. To say it's spite is one thing, but it kind of feels like it's not that much spite. What do you guys think? Zeno versus Kingdom Hearts Tigger. No. No, it's fine. Alright, I will check out the video. I don't think this is that much of a spite. I just don't. It's not that big of a spite matchup. It's bad, but it is not that bad. The next one, now this next one. Oh yeah, what the hell are you doing? Boy, what the hell, boy? Now this one is where you say, boy, what the hell, boy? Because, I mean, come on. That's Dragon Ball Super Vegeta, by the way. Like, why? Why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Why, though? Like, this ain't a matchup. This is a massacre. So, yeah. Anyway. Alright, so Macadamia posted that. The above videos. Which ones am I watching? No, those are from November. So, I assume it's this one? Gaming in general? Which one? Good quality content. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That's anime manga. Here you go. All right. Which video? Oh! I see now. Now I get it. I understand it now. Alright, here we go, 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 here we go.
My health side. Dumps.
How do I... Let's download it.
My health items.
There we go.
No, this shit is taking forever.
Exalted. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
You had enough.
Have you had enough, Brian?
I'm not giving up.
Face your death, Brian. Do it with a smile. Feels like you will for Wolverine.
Yep. Nice. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this guy is a dumbass. You see him?
Here in the chat is hilarious.
you see this guy? He's emoting at Brian instead of killing him.
Yep.
The world I want. Okay.
Armor.
Yo, whoever's playing is mad good. God dang.
Full coverage. Ceramic plating.
Why did you still do the animation? You already killed him. I didn't make you do that.
Interesting.
Why just realized something, Nick. Look at that nigga's health bar.
He's as strong as a ring.
Yeah, we probably only gone through one phase.
Nice. Good parry.
Right?
Damn, man. Why you mad good? Yeah, I'm noticing that. He created
Makes him happy.
this cosmological...
Sitting there with a smile on his face while he does it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. There's the moon. Damn, bro, why are you mad good? 20th attempt? I don't care. Oh, boy. I'm getting him. Let's bring this up. Nice, nice. What is, like, damn. So he's creating constructs while fighting you casually. That's really interesting. Damn, you're pretty good too, by the way, man. That was pretty cool. And also, we got Macadamia, who I'm also going to take a view for. So, let's take a look here. Yeah, definitely. To give context, he absorbs the power of Ebon's string, the tower the fight is on, which holds soul stones that, with their power, can create dimensions. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's very clear by the statements. He's trying to make a world where laws only abide by power, which is crazy. Macadamia says... So I was thinking about the Mario cosmology out of boredom, and since at the point I believed that I was moving on to drawing, writing character location, and I thought about how I felt conflicted about having essentially two in-between spaces in the cosmology, being the black space and color space. Of course, it can be normal for some fictions to have multiple spaces in between, but something about me trying to argue that about Mario cosmology felt like headcanon than full evidence. With this thought, I didn't know how much I could believe. That was until I had a realization because of how the black space could be easily viewed through going to matter splatter. As matter splatter phases in and out of existence, yes, shows that it isn't far off in comparison to the color space. Also, there are multiple Paper Mario visuals that showcase reality as being like paper in comparison to black space, which at first I thought was just showing them going into in and out of between space via flip side interpretation. However, I realized that every time this is shown in games, it is always shown with a singular world or space, never between worlds. Even the return pipe, which is an item used to get back and forth to the world flip side straight up, teleport Mario with multiple color light, and then we get the papery warp pipe transition. All this seems to be implied that the black space is not an in-between space, but an incomprehensible abyss that is part of each world. Now, compare this with color space. Multiple evidences of transcending space, time, and dimensions used as a wormhole to get between multiple worlds, between reality and dreams, and the portal that bring Mario, Luigi, and gang from the Mushroom Kingdom to the Concordia. Straight up a Mario Kart track that's rainbow theme. That straight up states that it transports you to other worlds, possibly the mechanism of how humans from the sports RPGs have gone from their Earth to the Mushroom Kingdom, always shown as a sparkling pass, a rainbow, and the effing return pipe. I mean, even if some of the things I mentioned might sound there, it is definitely way better evidence for an in-between space than the black space ever could be. It can even explain the weird warp pipe rooms in Mario Galaxy that shows the black background with multicolored lines apparently cracking through the space. In conclusion, all of the previously mentioned is why I decided to come back to the map and try to make the most logical interpretation of the map from what I put together without going too far into headcanon territory, but also not too short into surface level knowledge. Well, I think you did a good job, so let's take a look. So before we have empty space. And then we go to this one. Yeah, okay, I get it now. The nothingness. So instead of putting the... okay. Mario's World. Splatter. Endless staircases and maybe tick-tock clock. Yup. Mirror mode, portals, similar spaces. Okay. Space-time door. Mario. Okay. All worlds apart from Mario's possible space-time construct. Town 4D and beyond. 5D plus. Flip side tower, flop side tower. Flip side, flop side. Okay. Warp pipe. Dream depot. Black matter splatter, visual, dream. I see. So instead of just making the presupposition, you went into greater detail to kind of isolate them. That is actually pretty solid. I like that. And universal cycle. Okay. So Macadamia, I think you did a really good job on this. Finally, good quality content. I do like the Exalted One fight. And yeah, this overall was a pretty interesting showcase here that you did. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. So we guys, as we could see, there's quite a bit going on here. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for sharing that. So when we do add more to this list, we are going to eventually add video game characters. Video game characters are going to be a little bit more difficult. And I'll show why in the next video that I'm going to do. Of course, you guys are very welcome. And when I do the video, we're going to talk about video game characters, a little bit more about them, and like why scaling video game characters could be a little bit strange. So yeah, we'll definitely make sure we cover that, but yeah. So essentially, Macadamia, you said you realized you were overcomplicating Mario's cosmology, right? And that the black space isn't a space between worlds. It's like an abstract layer that exists inside each world in a way. And so ultimately, the color space is the real in-between space because it consistently shown moving characters between the different worlds, dimensions, and realities. And so you adjusted the map to reflect that. So the evidence doesn't force interdimensional layers that aren't necessarily stated. Got you. Okay. Well, yeah, you did a really good job on that, man. Yeah, excellent. So ultimately, we do have the mortal domain, celestial domain, meta domain, divine domain, and omni absolute domain. And as we can all see through every domain in each individual one, every character has a different ranking. There are going to be other characters we obviously will find in certain other layers, but yeah, we will probably continue further from here. Yeah, man. Oh, man, this is crazy. All right. So, let's take a look. So, yeah, man, kill side out. Moral after. Okay, anyway. So yeah, we got a better idea and understanding. So that's good. Let's see here. I think Ichigo should be higher around universal or low multiversal. Nugan Light Duty, thanks for your comment. I do appreciate it. If I were to tell you where Ichigo actually sits, I get where you feel, but that's fine to feel that way. I think Ichigo is only cosmic level, above galaxy and multi-galaxy and such. But cosmic is basically saying you're not quite what we would call a universal, but you're so much higher than a multi-galaxy. So the reason why Ichigo sits there is because when Yuha, ultimately, the reason why is because if we go by the novel, the Soul King separated the Bleach world into 3 components. Okay? When he separated the Bleach world into 3 components, it was from an infinite, whatever it may have been. Using bijection, you could argue that all these 3 worlds are all interconnected. So you really can't say destroying the Soul Society itself is the same, because it goes into a weird layer. Like, what is infinity divided by 3? Or are these just dimensional barriers put between the Dangai? We know the Dangai is the patroller of, time itself, obviously. So we're not going to argue against that. But the key thing is, there's nothing that ever states Ichigo is the progenitor of the world that he could destroy all of them. Whereas the Soul King and his powers, and through Yuha, he's a linchpin. A linchpin is the equivalent of a foundation. So let's say I had 3 pillars and I'm putting a big pin in between all 3. They're standing up. If you remove the pillars, all of a sudden the 3 wooden beams collapse. That doesn't mean you destroy the wooden beams with your actual punching power, but rather you removed a fundamental foundation that allows them to stand on their own. It's kind of similar to what Buhan did, in a way, but Buhan's is still a different case, because with Buhan, he used his voice and raw ki to cover infinite space and dimensions in between, then bring everything through not physical, but through key force, and bind them together to blow everything up. That's different. Whereas Yuha is kind of saying, nah, I'm removing the fundamental foundation of souls, Reiki, and energy, which for Bleach standards is definitely going to be universal to low multiversal, absolutely, for Yuha. However, when you look at it from the perspective that, well, what happens if Yuha does that to a world that doesn't rely on souls? You see? Because this is where it gets complicated, because even though Craftus isn't the best power scaler, obviously it's not his thing, we talked about it, and it was like kind of like, yeah, but like if you went to Naruto world, Naruto's world isn't made up of Reiki. I'm like, oh, you're right. And neither is Dragon Ball. Like there's like the Soul Society is made of materialistic objects made up of the fundamental foundation of Reiki. But if you went to like, Naruto or Dragon Ball verse, there's no guarantee he could linchpin their verse. So Yuha's power is kind of what we call conditional destructive capacity in that context because of the narrative. And the novels support this too. Whereas Ichigo is just, nah, Yuha was like, nah, I'm not fighting you, bro. You way too strong. You're Bankai. So Ichigo's Bankai and his strength, Ichigo is just raw power because he's just built different. I don't know. So Ichigo, and given that we know what Senjumaru and the other characters can do, that scaling alone does give Ichigo an edge, but because it's only 1/3 of what was presumably an entire universal construct, I wouldn't call it universal plus. Now, I would say on the higher end, you can argue universal, but I like to say for the sake of expediency and the consistency of the series, on a conservative scale, I say it's cosmic, low cosmic, where if Ichigo was able to push it just a tad forward, he could get into the universal territory, observable, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's there yet. That's why I have him next to Cell, where Cell, I did a video on why Cell is that crazy. So Ichigo, if you told Ichigo, hey, at your max power, could you blow up all these galaxies? Hell yeah, he could do that. Easy. I wouldn't say easy, he'd have to go all out, but Ichigo has held back most of the time in the manga anyway, because he's like, I can't release all my power because I'm gonna kill everyone around me. That's why he told Orihime, yo, get out. I'm about to turn up real quick. So in that context, I get what you're saying, but yeah, it wouldn't be at that place, you know. I actually think Supreme Kai, I have to move him. I'm going to rank Supreme Kai in galactic level, personally, because Supreme Kai does need to get moved to galactic level, but these were all trying to be based on the, for those who don't know, this was actually intended to be based on most manga appearances, for the most part. Goku sits here because the movies of Dragon Ball Super still scale. So because the movies allow anime scaling to kind of come into Dragon Ball Super manga, that's kind of why I gave Goku that rank. Because it's like, well, the super dimension Gogeta did deal with, it is still above what Zamasu was able to do even in the anime adaptation. So, and given that that's the exact thing that happened in the novel, in the manga, it's like, well, Goku would be that rank. Even if Infinite Zamasu didn't do what he did, manga Goku still technically would overcome that power, but that's besides the point. The bottom line is, I would say Ichigo would sit around the lower cosmic level on a consistent basis. Not because he can't destroy a universe, but more so because he's not going to do it all in one big swoop. It'll be something that will require, you know, prep time, and it's not something he could practically do. So if you had universal durability, Ichigo wouldn't kill you if he hit you, is what I'm saying. But yeah. Ainzo, thanks for popping by on the stream. Appreciate you having you too, man. To answer your question, Frieza is not universal in raw power. I'll explain that. So, what's a common misconception, my friend, is that Frieza is definitely able to blow up a galaxy. He does it on screen, even at 50% of his power. I went over that, and I stand strong on that. I don't take that away from Frieza. The key thing is, though, when King Kai said Frieza is a threat to the universe as we know, King Kai was, one, he was panicking. All right, the first rule is King Kai was panicky. All right, so King Kai panicked when that was stated. He's panicking. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, damn, bro. So King Kai's panicking. Number two, Frieza is an emperor. And Roz is correct. A threat to the universe, that would be over time, not... Yes, Roz is correct here. But let me tell you why. So don't worry about it. Ainzo, I got you, bro. the reason why we don't say Frieza is a universe buster is not because he can't over time. I mean, he could destroy galaxies at 50% of his power. It's the fact that Frieza, if you could, let me ask you this. If I could destroy a galaxy at 50% of my power, logically speaking, I could destroy several more at 100%. Which means I am a threat to the universe in terms of the sociological aspect. That's the idea. Okay? The sociological aspect is very, very important. And I'll explain. Frieza is an emperor. Okay? Not a king. Okay? Frieza is an emperor. Not a king. Okay? So, the key bottom line I'm making out here is Frieza is an emperor, not a king. Emperors have reigned over numerous kingdoms. So Frieza has a lot of financial wealth, renownment. He's scared, he's feared throughout the galaxy. Look at Granola's past story. Even Granola, the Cerealians know who he is. Beerus knows who he is. Bobity's clearly gonna know who he is. The Kais know who he is. Everyone knows who Frieza is. So obviously Frieza is a reigning force to be reckoned with. So from a sociological standpoint, we already thought Frieza was a threat to everything that has to do with the economy, because nobody could stand up to him. So when you find out he could evaporate galaxies, you know? So let me give you an example. YouTube, do not flag this video. But let's take a dictator from the past. Let's say Joseph Stalin, for example. Say if Joseph Stalin had weapons of mass destruction that could destroy cities. Okay? We're afraid of him now, right? Like, or at least King Kai is like other governments and stuff. And let's just assume none of us have the fighting power to combat that. Then we find out Joseph Stalin was like, oh, by the way, that was that was only my first form. What? Oh, I have bombs that can do gigatons of damage. What? We thought you were only blowing up things by the kilotons. We find out he has gigatons. And for those who don't know, kilos are in the thousands, megas are in the millions, giga is in the billions. So you find out he can produce billions of tons of TNT with those bombs. A gigaton bomb is not going to blow up the Earth. It'll take out an island. It'll cause massive quakes. It'll damage the planet. But it ain't going to blow it up in one go. You need way, 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 way more energy. Even a teraton, which is a trillion. Even a teraton is a trillion. An exaton is a quadrillion. You know? Even beyond that, a petaton, like when you get into the petaton, which is quintillion, that's still not enough tons of TNT to blow up the Earth. It'll cripple it, but the Earth is very durable. But the bottom line would be, even though he's billions of times lacking the strength to blow up the globe, that is still a scary idea that he has gigatons of massive nuclear power. In this context, for Frieza, it is a scary thought that Frieza could just eviscerate at least 2 galaxies at a time while not even being exhausted. So the fact that Frieza can do stuff like that does make him a threat to the universe, does make him not universal in one attack, but universal as a political threat. Because Frieza is a political figure at that point. He's a political, war-mongering threat to the entire economy of the Dragon Ball cosmology and universe. He's the most feared. That's why when Beerus heard a Saiyan beat him, he spit out his coffee or his tea or whatever he was drinking, because he was like, what? I've never heard of this. Who in the hell could be that strong? So there. Yes, Boost Spirit Bomb was multiversal, not universal, but we never said that, you know. When we say universal, we're talking about Dragon Ball Universal. Yeah, Boo, the Spirit Bomb for Boo had the power of the whole macrocosm. That has been stated. However, when it came to Frieza, that wasn't actually a universal. As much as people like to say, because when Goku was saying stars of the universe, he's not really saying every star in the universe. He's saying stars of the universe. That's like if I said, citizens of Earth, give me your power. I could be talking to the United States saying that, you know? Like like when Goku says, creatures of the stars, stars of the universe, planets of the universe, lend me your power. That Spirit Bomb did not hold the power of the universe at the time, specifically because Goku was only, like, that's just a general terminology. Again, if I say citizens of Earth, give me your power, I could just be talking about I could just be in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, and I could use that same phrasing. Citizens of Earth, citizens of Boston, give me your power. Citizens of Earth, Boston belongs to the planet Earth. So it's just a very blanket term Goku was using in how Toriyama wrote it in the manga. So it's not that Goku was drawing energy from the whole universe, but he was drawing from powers and cosmic, entities and celestial bodies that belong to the general universe. Goku don't know how big the universe is at that point. Not at that point in time, he didn't. That's why in Dragon Ball Super, that's why Goku didn't know that until he went to the afterlife. Then Goku had an idea of how crazy vast the universe was. So when Goku says stuff like that after, yeah, and that's different. That's different. He has more merit to be reliable on, because Goku isn't book smart. So we got to also look at all these little nuances. All right. Alright, let me see here. Blue Saga. I'm pretty sure the Universal Spirit Child was at least in GT. So let me clear things up between Macadamia and Roz. So Universal Spirit Bomb is a very interesting term. It was definitely in Dragon Ball Super, and I'll show you guys. It was in the Z anime. Goku didn't only gather it from Earth. It was clarified that the Genki Dama had the power from the afterlife too. GT used the term universe because I don't know. They just and that's really a localization issue. It's not you guys' fault. It's just the localization for GT made it seem like that was the first time they did that. No, that wasn't the first time that happened. Otherwise, it's kind of surprising. But anyway, if we go to chapter 1. However, by answering the call from Hercule's energy from the entire universe was gathered and formed into the ultimate Genki Dama. So this makes sense because if you go to the original OG Dragon Ball manga, they did pull power from King Yama did say, Goku, don't worry, we gave power from the afterlife too. So it is a universal spirit bomb. And we know how big the Dragon Ball macrocosm is, so it would definitely be a multiversal lower complex multiversal spirit bomb at that point. But that's besides the picture. The main picture is Frieza universal? Absolutely not. Dragon Ball is a very rubber banding power increase. Let me see here. Spirit Bomb is universal and Namek. Again, Frieza was dying from Galactic. Yeah, he was. A weaker Frieza got done in by that. Let's see here. All right, guys, y'all gotta chill out. Chill out. There's no need. There's no need, chat. Donaz Moss put it together really well, but I don't even know if Ains is listening to me or if Ains is just arguing with the chat. But Ains, I kind of explained it to you in the best of my ability. From a narrative standpoint on how the story is orchestrated and told to us, the viewer and consumers, again, Frieza's a dictator. You know, existential crisis level threats versus destructive capacity is what King Kai meant. So when King Kai said Frieza's universal, that's what he meant. And I just need to clarify that because I'm not going to ignore that these scans don't exist. Like, this exists. This is a real scan. This is a real statement. But that's not second form Frieza. And yes, when Goku says the whole universe will be in danger or the universe will get wrecked, yeah, I mean, that's accurate. I mean, think about it this way. When Goku says the whole universe will get wrecked if I don't stop Frieza, look at it from the perspective that Goku is talking about the general consensus is that Goku is really pretty much saying things like, all right, guys, Frieza has enough terrifying power to destroy the entire universe. That's a bit of a hyperbole. Why do we know that? It's because, again, it's a point that's political. Frieza is a political figure. So again, when he makes those claims or statements, Frieza is not actually going to just say one shot the universe. It's going to take time. Again, he is a threat. Again, and just to kind of point out my point, if we had a dictator if a dictator had gigaton nuclear weapons, those gigaton nuclear weapons are logically thousands of times stronger than the Tsar Bomba. So if somebody had that type of power, it's still not going to blow up the Earth. But generally, we would say this could be the end of humankind. This could be the end of planet Earth. Not because he's going to blow it up, but because that type of threat level is ridiculous. So the fact that Frieza can blow up 2 or 3 galaxies in its final form is scary. It's very scary. So by that perspective, yes, the statement holds merit. When Goku says the universe itself will get wrecked, yeah, of course, because the economic flow, nobody will be able to stop Frieza. Nobody could stop first form Frieza. So when they find out this dude is 122 times stronger in his final form, yeah, that's very nerve-wracking. Because even if you could blow up just planets, we would still think you're a threat to the universe. Because think about how easily he could destabilize the economic structure or the social structure of the universe. No one in Galactic Control was strong enough to stop that. Nobody. Even Jocko. Jocko was like, no. Hell no. Because, but Jocko, they had planet level bombs. Yes, Galactic Control could blow up planets with their bombs and such. That didn't mean a damn thing. Frieza sat down in a chair, blew up a planet 10 times denser than Earth with his finger. So even then, but you don't have to be universal to be a threat. So I'm just clarifying that up for people. Macadamia, exactly. Macadamia's got it. Yeah, Frieza's political dictator. He cares about power and order. He wants things to be for the Frieza force, the Frieza army. He wants things to be done in his way. Show power to destroy more than galaxy. Yeah, like a dictator threatens countries with multiple. Yeah. No, when I said universal, I didn't mean all of it. I just meant the living realm. Not otherworld. My bad. I should have made it clear what I meant was the living realm since it's universe itself. Yeah, I get what you mean. Dragon Ball is really silly about that. But even that, I would say, Ans, I still wouldn't say Frieza could destroy the living universe in one shot. It would be, he'd have to throw out billions of trump card black. Well, can he? Yeah, of course. I mean, Frieza, what they show? Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember this? And Frieza did this easily, casually. So Frieza easily holds power that's 10 times stronger to destroy a galaxy. So, would Frieza be able to destroy galaxies upon the multiples? Absolutely. Within the anime framework. However, that wouldn't be the whole realm. Now, if you're saying Cell, yes. Cell is more logical in that argument. Cell is more logical. Because with Cell, you know, yeah, even a stronger Frieza isn't going to destroy the whole living world. Because the living world is still infinite. The observable universe of the living world is finite. But, you know, again, Frieza, even if you could destroy 10 galaxies at a time, like let's do fun math, guys. So let's say in this example, I'm going to draw you guys something to kind of paint the picture. So let's do this. Let's say Frieza has enough destructive capacity to destroy 10 galaxies in one shot. Okay? Well, technically not 10 galaxies. He has 10 times the yield of energy that's required to destroy a galaxy. So if you're within range, he could possibly destroy 100. Since we're in space and there's no real air resistance and none of that. So if the shock wave in the mediums aren't strong enough to stop it, because if he could wipe out a galaxy with just half of his power, then 10 times that power doesn't work linearly. And this is the mistake people make with science. So Frieza got 10 times the energy to destroy a galaxy. So that means the last galaxy he blew up just exploded. But if you got 10 times that strength, the epicenter of that is going to just eviscerate that galaxy. But the actual yield of the explosion, since we're in a vacuum of space, the only thing that will slow down the effect are mediums in space, such as other celestial bodies, quasi-stars, etc. But when that explosion happens, nearby galaxies are going to get absolutely eviscerated out of existence. So it's not that he could blow up 10 galaxies. No, the attack is 10 times more potent to destroy a galaxy, meaning it's 10 times easier to destroy a galaxy. So if Frieza is able to make this attack spread within a range, logically and mathematically, he could destroy hundreds of galaxies, arguably thousands, if it can spread enough. That's because the way space works. So Frieza could already destroy thousands of galaxies here. Okay? So if Frieza could blow up, arguably hundreds to thousands, then, I mean, obviously he's a threat to the universe. But even then, let's argue Frieza can dish out this attack, and it takes Frieza about 6 hours to go to a different galaxy. So we're going to use 24 hours. So that means Frieza goes to 4 quadrants. Let's say on a bare minimum, on the lower end, he destroys 200 galaxies times 4, which is 800. So Frieza destroys 800 galaxies on the lower end per day. And then on the higher end, let's say he destroys 2,000. That's 10,000 galaxies. So on the higher end, Frieza destroys 10,000 galaxies in a day. Because, he has to travel on a spaceship to get from point A to point B. And as fast as a spaceship is, it still takes several days. Or it still will take a couple days. Or at least a day to get to a different galaxy, as we saw. So let's say Frieza goes to a different galaxy, blows up another one. Different galaxy, blows up another one. Given how long it takes for him to travel, etc., through a spaceship, because he doesn't have the travel speed, let me give you guys the math. How many years or days would it take for Frieza to wipe out all stars in the universe? So according to Jocko, there are 200 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Now, some sources say it's infinite. But we're not going to go by that. Clearly, by Daizenshu 4 standards, a consistent framework is going to be 200 trillion. And Jocko kind of confirms that too in an offset manga that Toyotawa did as well. So, 200 trillion galaxies. I'm destroying 800 galaxies per day. How long will it take me to destroy all 200 trillion? Then we're going to do on the higher end for 10,000 a day. So, let's do the math. So, basically, hold on, let me read the comment section too. I heard you put effort matters. Everything we see him do is casual. Even when he came back, that blast against Trunks, he made it absolutely. Well, he made it casual, but he's angry. When Frieza did that, he was raging. So it wasn't really a casual like him sitting down, because there's a difference. Because when Frieza was sitting down, right? When Frieza was sitting down and blowing up Planet Vegeta, he was sitting down, chilling, laughing. It was easy, no effort. Here, his muscles are flexed. He's flying above. He's pissed off. He's straining. Even King Cold, his father, said, "Frieza, no! What are you doing?" So that right there shows Frieza put in high effort for this. Clearly, he put high effort because he was pissed. This is an enraged attack. So we know this one took effort. So with that being said, even if we did say that 800 galaxies per day, just off of that alone, we got 2 times 1014. Okay, under 800. 5. Okay. So we got approximately Frieza it would take Frieza, I want to say by this 250 billion days. Even if you're destroying 800 galaxies a day. Just simple this. Okay? So in other words, by going into the conversion here, let me use my other calculator here. Okay. Yep. And yep. It would take Frieza 685 million years to wipe out every galaxy. Assuming he could do it within a pace where new galaxies aren't being generated. Because there's going to be more galaxies generating itself, but that's still going to be a threat regardless. Now, even if you assume it was 10,000, by just converting it, we get 54 point... Yeah, let me show you. Here's the math. 54.8 million years on the high end assumption. And it would take, and even if you said he was destroying 100,000 galaxies a day, that would still take about 5 million years. He's a threat to the universe, yes. But even without infinite speed or universal attack potency, long-term annihilation is still scary. But we can't ignore the fact that it would take Frieza a long ass time to do that. So that's why we don't say it. Because it has to be logical, my friend. It has to be logical. Frieza. Yeah, there are other galaxies. I will say that I think Frieza is a contestant to be solidly galaxy, because in order for him to narratively be a threat, he would have to be a galaxy threat. You're not really a galaxy threat if you're not really a universal threat if you can only blow up solar systems. So galaxy threat makes sense, I would say. And I'd say based on what we hear about Goku stating in the manga,
Goku still gathered energy of the Spirit Bomb from within the galaxy, and it still wasn't enough to destroy Frieza. And we saw how powerful Goku's Spirit Bomb was to gather energy just from the Earth and plants. And yet it almost killed Vegeta. So that being said, I think Galaxy level is solid for a mid-end Frieza within the context. But I do agree that galaxies vary in size, and so ultimately Frieza can't even just destroy every single galaxy in the same. But upon the context of Mecha Frieza for the Dragon Ball Z Kai or the anime adaptation, he still would logically have to sit within Galaxy, because the preponderance of evidence of what he can typically do would be a solid. I would say that's a solid argument for him. You know, I think it's fair to say he still should logically be able to do it, but it's just not something that he would do on a regular basis. Multi-solar ranges is a lot more of also a reasonable take, but multi-solar system itself is just a blanket term. I think the thing is, people think multi-solar system means, oh, I guess multi-solar system must mean like 3, 5. No, when Roz says multi-solar, he could be talking about 700,000 solar systems within a galaxy. It could be 700,000 solar systems, which means if a galaxy holds 100 billion stars, or Roz could be like, Roz could be like, oh, he could destroy 700 million. There's 100 billion stars, all right? So even with 100 billion stars, 700 million solar systems is what, divided by, that's what, 142? So he would have to repeat this attack 142 times. So regardless of the arbitrary number, the massive size is ridiculous. So like to Roz's point, it's like, oh, he could do that. I'm like, well, even if he could do something like this, it would only take out that much of a chunk. Which in Roz's argument, to be fair, that's the lower end people do with the Frieza destroys Galaxy. Because if we take a look at the original screenshot, check this out. That's accurate. You know? A lot of people don't like to... I think Frieza's Galaxy level, but personally, but I do think even on a lower end or a conservative framework, like Roz is saying, this isn't a downplay. This is still ridiculous. Because even that orange speck, let's just assume this galaxy is the same size as the Milky Way, based on its spiral shape, etc. Even with that speck alone could contain over, in some contexts, depending on how you review the framework, it could destroy, within the size of how much, you know, if there's 100 billion stars within a galaxy, this alone could be 700 million stars. All in that little tiny orange speck is 100. It could be 700 million stars, even a billion. Because assuming that's 1/100th of the entire galaxy, that's still a billion stars. So, oh, but Superman could destroy a star system. Can he destroy 100 billion? So he's not downplaying Frieza. He's just saying it doesn't have to always be like crazy, which I get it, because a lot of people think, oh, you're saying he's not at this level? You're trying to say he's weak? I'm like, no, that's not the point. So, yeah. In Dragon Ball, thing is different though. Like a solar system in DB is a galactic nebula. That is true. And a galaxy is made up of countless nebula. Like, if someone in DBZ destroyed the living world, wouldn't that be low multi? Sadly, no, because the Herms broke that down. The galactic nebula was not intended to mean the solar system is a galactic nebula per se. Rather, it's more so the way Japanese uses the term nebula. Because I know what scan you're talking about, how a nebulae contains countless stars, etc. But yeah.
let's see here. So yeah, but yeah, that tiny region of the galaxy could still hold 100 billion stars, and I think that's what people forget. You know, so I get what you're saying, Roz, and I get what you're saying too, Ants. Yeah. Now you could argue that Frieza is galactic level in the anime, and you can argue he's multi-solar within the manga. I believe that given the context, Goku tells Frieza in the Japanese that you are able to destroy entire celestial body. Frieza said if he's caught in the explosion, he'll lose more of his strength. That's not a bad thing, because the explosion design, you know, it really depends. Let me see here. Let me see here. Yeah, Frieza blowing up planets isn't hard. And if you're going by the anime, I think solar system is too low for Frieza, specifically because Goku at just 90,000 was causing nearby planets outside of the star system of Namek to shake. If for those who remember, when Goku powered up at 90k, Ginyu was laughing. So even though Goku was causing the entire planet to warp, as well as planets outside to react off of his energy signals, which is at least a light year away. That's ridiculous power. And that's just Goku at 90k. So even anime version Goku and Ginyu should be easily, like, gargantuanly absolute monsters in power. They should be monsters in power. But Frieza just sits at a level that's so ridiculous, because even El Manga Legendario says it's incomprehensible on what you could destroy with a power level of 1 million, implying stars. It's above stars. It's above planets. So second form Frieza in the manga by El Manga Legendario. So let's take a look at it again. El Manga Legendario. Is able to destroy. They say you need a power level of 10,000 to destroy a planet. But they say it's inconceivable of what you could accomplish if you had a power level of 1 million. So if destroying a planet only requires a power level of 10,000, Frieza was at 520k, and we already seen what he did to planets 10 times denser than Earth, while holding back with just a finger, not even trying and laughing. Then by manga standards, it says, lo que se puede lograr con 1 millón. Or no, es inconcebible lo que se puede lograr con 1 millón. So if they're saying it's inconceivable of what you could do with a power level of 1 million, a star is conceivable, right? Upon the framework of planet to star level. When you say inconceivable in 1 million, you must be referring to something greater than a star, which likely is a solar system. So second form Frieza being solar system level is very reasonable within that framework, especially since we see in the anime adaptation, Goku and Ginyu at 90k alone were causing, at least Goku at 90k, caused other planets to kind of flare up through their own Orion belt. Those planets had magnetic interactions through his ki, and those planets are light years away, because Namek is surrounded by 3 stars. Namek is very durable, because the planet should never be able to contain itself from being pulled from 3 stars. It should be ripped apart. How the heck can a planet be surrounded by 3 stars and still survive? But again, this is also Dragon Ball, so logic is kind of thrown out the window too, so it really depends. I say this is why I go into low end, mid end, high end. I think mid end conservatively though. I think it's fair to say that we generally would have Frieza sitting at the
high multi-galaxy, high multi-solar system to low to galaxy level. I think it's very reasonable for him to be there just because of the interpretative scale that was intended for him and the Dragon Ball official website. That's the only reason why. But other than that, you're not wrong as well if you also think Frieza is more safer in the multi-solar ranges, because that's not a bad argument either. That's also pretty safe. But Dragon Ball characters are always ridiculous in power, but that's just a little small thing I wanted to point out, which is also weird. Piccolo has 5 fingers in the anime, but only 4 in the manga. I mean, yeah. Anyway, bottom line is the main argument. All right, they weren't worried too much about the planet exploding. No. Goku was worried about oxygen. The only thing they cared about was a lack of breathing, which would be the deciding factor. Yeah, Frieza said, I don't want to get caught up in this stupid explosion. So, Frieza don't want to get caught up in the explosion. That's pretty much the main consensus. And power levels don't scale cleanly in Dragon Ball 2. Let's also remember, because a power level of 520,000 doesn't mean 52 planets, therefore solar system. No. A power level of 520 million means destroying the planet becomes much easier. So let me give you an example. Let's say if I have 10 graham crackers, I have the power to destroy 1. My power increases by 10-fold. That doesn't mean I'm going to destroy 10 graham crackers. No, it just means the first graham cracker takes 10 times less effort. And now I probably atomize it. You know what I'm saying? Or not atomize it, but pulverize it. So inconceivable also doesn't mathematically imply greater than a star at the same time, but it is a bit hype language, but at the same time it's giving an idea. So my point is, although the term inconceivable doesn't give you a true metric, we already know that because lesser characters who were 10 times weaker than Frieza when his power level was 1,000,000, were already causing stars and other local bodies to shake or react even when light years away. That's telling us that the context is informing us that it's clearly got to be greater than that of a star, especially within the Japanese language, where star and planet aren't always treated equally, but the term Hoishi in Japanese refers to celestial body. So when you look at Hoishi as celestial body or star as a standalone, the context is very clear. So it's very clear that this statement is implying that something greater than star level destruction. So I think that's a very fair assessment. But anyway, what do you guys think? Or is it just a theory? A game? No, I'm just playing. Let me stop. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see. That's all right, guys. But yeah, ultimately, the bottom line, the conclusion is, we just don't typically say Frieza can destroy a universe in one shot. You know, that's where we stand on that. You know what I'm saying? But to kind of give you further context, that's where we stand on that, but that's just an opinion, you know? Ultimately, we have to remember that the mangaka never came out and said this out front. We are just using our general logic to
gather facts and see which just generally has the better, what is the better premise or rhetoric, or the more foundational, has the most meritable point, which can always be exchanged. They can always change, always be different. New information changes things all the time. So my thing to keep the peace in the chat, I want to let you know, Ans, what you're saying is completely fine too, but it's just important to know that it depends on where you're coming from. Like, if you're using Mike Pondsmith's data books, then Frieza would be universal, because he actually makes a statement that Dragon Ball characters can destroy a universe with the twitch of a finger. Very hype talk. Clearly not something Toriyama would agree with, I'm sure. I'm confident that Toriyama or Toyotaro would never agree with that because of how the story is written. They show you what characters do later on. So it's very clear it wasn't intended to be, like, literal. But that's fine. Remember, things change all the time. Dragon Ball, like, the Super Exciting Guide came out later and told us what the multipliers for fusion was. We didn't know what it was before. And the Super Exciting Guides came out years after Dragon Ball already finished being written. Like, almost 20 years. It came out in 2009. The Super Exciting Guide came out in 2009. I think Dragon Ball finished its final chapters in, like, 1995. So even then, but yeah. But yeah, anyway. That's pretty much all it is to it, you know what I'm saying? It's just to kind of let people know that, at the end of the day, things change. Super Saiyan Guide came out much later. Dragon Ball Super guidebooks came out later and then gave us information on how the cosmology works. Like, I said the Xeno world is a higher dimension. Nobody believed me. Then a data book came out, a guidebook for the Chozenshu, and it said, oh, the Xeno world sits in a completely different dimension, separated from the other lower dimensions known as the neutral zone. Then we get later statements that, Ultra Instinct comes from an unknown source of power. It doesn't have a multiplier. All right, so there's that. So when we see terms like, transcending dimensions as a fight, as a card title for the episode, it's not hyperbole either. It makes sense. And ultimately, you'll see the same thing, One Punch Man. The series will always have new data books. Naruto didn't have data books back then. So when Naruto had data books, when data books came out, Naruto actually had light speed statements in the data books. And we're like, oh! So data books aren't to always be treated as the word of God for the mangaka, but it's something that we shouldn't ignore. And it's something to always consider. Power scaling is never stagnant. Power scaling is like a video game that has patch notes. It's like, hey, Ken was a meta character in Street Fighter 6, and then he got nerfed. So now he's nerfed. Who knows, maybe in 2026, Ken might get a buff again, and he might be S tier all over. So things change. When you look at it from that perspective, it's fine. Oh boy. All right, guys, y'all gotta chill in the chat. Y'all don't need to fight about that. It ain't that big a deal, These characters will always have different outcomes. Toyotaro could come out tomorrow and just say, well, Frieza's pencil level. Oh, death of the author. Nah, I established it and it is written, and I'm gonna overwrite all the series and make it non-canon. If they really want to do that, they could do that. So it's like, with all, within the framework, it's okay. It's not even like that. It's not even, it's all good. How high can you scale True World in Dragon Ball Heroes? Also, how high do you scale Dragon Ball Heroes? Nguyen, light duty. To answer your question, it's really hard to say where I scale it, but it would be Demi Outerverso, possibly. Oh yeah, Macadamia said it. Apparently towards Demi Outerverso, according to Atari's tier list from earlier, but I don't know the specifics. Does Daima add anything? Daima doesn't really add as much as people thought it did. It adds depth and helps other characters like Deborah. But it, other than adding about a dimension, like it makes Goku consistently 10th dimensional, or it makes Goku consistently low hyperversal. You know, so Goku and Goku can have Goku's up there now, but it's not something I would say that completely shifts the entire meta. But that's just for now. Again, things change. If we get the new Dragon Ball Super, who knows? They might actually have a new dimension that we never saw before in the manga. So it's always, that's what makes power scaling. You got to treat power scaling like a video game, you know. Every take could be valid, you know, but they have to be valid upon a specific framework, you know. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here, guys. What's going on? All right. So, anyway, back to the more positive aspects. Yeah, I would say that overall that's pretty much sealed the deal. But yeah, we win. Several hours in today's stream. I'm very happy with the outcome of today's event. Let's end on a positive note, everyone. At the end of the day, thank you, good quality content. Again, Macadamia coming through. Roz coming through. Donaz, Moss, Ans, thanks for coming through. And Z, thanks for coming through anyway. You know what I'm saying? We do appreciate you. Even if you have a different opinion, it's not even a big deal, you know. It's all good. But remember, when we come into the chat, we like to bring peace. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey, you know, it's all good. I mean, people roast each other. And you just remember, if you guys are roasting each other, just roast each other's arguments, not individuals. If you're going to do that, which I already know. So that's the thing. If y'all gonna come at each other, it's all good, you know. Yeah. I feel you, bro. It's fiction. It is fiction. But like at the same time, you know, we gotta make sure we cool. But like, yeah, just so you know, Ans, I guarantee you, Roz ain't saying nothing about you personally. He's saying about the argument, like the argument and the approach. Cause I get you know, like as long as it ain't resulting in insults, I'm sure y'all still kick it. Y'all still could probably throw on a good game and be like, all right. Anyway, even if we don't agree, my guy, let's go play. Let's go play freaking Monster Hunter or something. You know. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's all good, bro. You know, we family here. Yeah, that's it. If you get, I'll tell you, my boy Roz, if you give him a certain energy, he won't make it personal, but he gonna give you what you deliver. You know what I'm saying? If you say something, he'll be like, oh, all right, we roasted. He gonna bring out the flamethrower. He gonna flame it back. That's just how it is, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Sometimes we flame each other back, you know, and usually it's in controlled environment, and you know, but regardless, hey, I appreciate you for coming through nonetheless. Again, just want to give a thanks to James Use the Bank. Finally, some good quality content. Macadamia, good quality content. I already said you. Harvado, Vegeta Scales, Rank Detective, y'all all coming through with the crazy donos. as well as DFR and everyone else who has been coming through. We do appreciate you guys. And for those of you who see the channel and you don't see me upload as much, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna upload more. I'm just gonna let you guys see the consistency and let the results be what it is. We're on the Goku arc right now, so it's about grinding, you know. It's that's that Goku Bogard arc. You don't believe me? Look at look. Yeah. You already know what my boy is. It's that arc right now, baby. Grind. But anyway, yeah. And yes, I'm glad you shared it too, Top Hat Macadamia. But yeah, everyone, let's end this chat. Let's end the stream in a peaceful note. So everyone, have Merry Xmas, everyone. It's all good in the hood. Thanks everyone for coming through and stopping by. We appreciate the support and donations. And yeah, you as well. Yo, Merry Xmas, everyone. Y'all are all good people. And then we're going to catch y'all out later in the next stream. This is Atari HMB. And we are signing off. Peace out. And thank you again. Happy holidays.